Hey ladies, gents, and NBs! Welcome to or back to the channel. So, there's a lot of theories and predictions I have for the Kingdom Hearts series, specifically Kingdom Hearts 4. And, well, I'll be real with you, trying to make scripts for all of these theories, as well as turning them into fully edited videos, takes a lot of time and energy, and yeah, it makes it tricky for me to release Kingdom Hearts theory videos on a consistent schedule, at the quality that I usually do. So, today I'm gonna try to do something a little bit different. As I mentioned in my channel update video, I mentioned that I was going to start doing some unscripted, lightly edited theory videos talking about some of my own predictions and theories for the Kingdom Hearts series. And today is the first video in that series of videos, I guess. So I'm really excited to start doing this, and hopefully I'll be able to do more of these, and you guys will get more Kingdom Hearts videos from me in the process, and you don't have to be stuck with the only videos you get in between full essays is a ton of reaction videos, which I do enjoy doing, but, you know, I gotta diversify my content a bit. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into the topic of today's video, and that is what I think the purpose of the Disney worlds are to the Lost Master's plans in Kingdom Hearts 4. Oh, and I should stress that this video will assume you have watched the KH4 Disney Worlds video, because I will be referencing that and mentioning worlds from that video. So please watch it if you haven't already. You'll probably get a lot more out of this video if you have. So in my KH4 Disney Worlds video from last year, I mentioned that I think the Lost Masters were bringing the Disney Worlds into the Astral Dimension. But I didn't say why, because I didn't think of a reason why they would want to do that in the first place, and admittedly it was mainly just an excuse to explain how I think Sora would go to the Disney Worlds. But I actually have come up with a reason on why the Lost Masters would want to do this. And I think it's because they are trying to gather the new 7 Hearts and the 13 Darknesses in one place. Now, we know that they're going to become vessels for 7 of the Darknesses, and that the Lost Masters did have a plan for the remaining 6 Darknesses, but we still don't know how the new 7 Hearts will factor into all of this, and that what happened with the remaining 6 Darknesses in Eden Cross didn't exactly fall in line to what the Master of Masters had initially planned, which, you know, we probably could have predicted, to be fair. And this leads me into the reason why I think the Lost Masters are trying to gather all the 7 Lights and 13 Darknesses in one place, is that they're going to try and reforge the Keyblade. And this leads into a theory of mine that the 13 Darknesses are actually the 13 pieces of darkness that broke from the Keyblade. And that the Lost Masters are going to try to use this Keyblade to either summon the true Kingdom Hearts in Unreality, or create their own Kingdom Hearts in Unreality, which is what I think that last shot of the Yozora Secret movie is alluding to, with the Masters making their heart shape over the moon. Now, at this point, some of you may be asking, well, how are they going to gather the remaining 6 Darknesses? Well, we kinda have an idea where 2 of them are at. We know that one of them remained in the real Daybreak Town, and we know that one of them is Vanitas, who may or may not still be around inside Sora. Who's to say? Well, what about the other 4 then? Well, this is where the Disney Worlds come into play, because I think the remaining 4 Darknesses are out there in some of the Disney Worlds. But wait, aren't they trapped in the Data World, you may be asking? Yes, but I think they might have escaped. And I think Missing Link was going to show them escaping from the Data World, which, side note, is when I think they will probably go back to the Rocket Route worlds and retell the story of Route Breaks the Internet. And I think the Darknesses escaping from the Data World was going to be a major plot point in Missing Link, and that they were going to soon escape Scarlet Kylum and go out into the worlds and find vessels for themselves. And I think we might have actually seen one of them already in Dark Road. So, remember the ending of Chapter 2 when Xehanort visits Wonderland again? And like, after the events of Dark Road, and he sees darkness behind the Queen of Hearts? I think that was one of the 4 Darknesses that escaped. Though, it could also have been a darkness that was born from the Queen of Hearts herself. We know a darkness can be born within a person's heart. But I'm not ruling out the possibility that that could have been one of the 4 Darknesses from Union Cross that were trapped in the Data World. So I think for all this time since they skipped the Data World, they've been going out there throughout the worlds and finding vessels for them to inhabit, just like the Lights have done over the course of the series' history. I think the Lost Masters will find whatever worlds they are currently at in the present day and bring those worlds into the astral dimension or unreality and find the current vessels of those darknesses. And yes, I do have some contenders. Palpatine, Bellwether, Ernesto de la Cruz, the Droon, and Alma. Now, the first couple do make sense. Palpatine, Bellwether, and Ernesto are very much antagonists of their respective stories, so it makes sense for them to be vessels of darkness. The Droon, I don't think would be vessels in the traditional sense, but I think it is possible that the darkness could feed off the energy of the Droon, since the Droon are still like a form of darkness within the world of Raya, so I think darkness would be interested in wanting to feed off that energy. Alma, you probably are a bit baffled by, because she's not really an antagonist, but I do think it makes sense for her to be a vessel of darkness because her desires within the story of Encanto is rooted in fear, and fear can sometimes lead to darkness. So I think it'd be really interesting to see darkness take an interest in a character who isn't a villain or antagonist in a sense, and show Sora that anyone can attract the darkness regardless of the intent. And I think that would just be so fascinating to see with a character like Alma, especially since, you know, she's at the root of the conflict within the story of Encanto and eventually led to the destruction of the Encanto and the Katsita and that place losing its magic and the Madrigal family losing their magical powers. Like, I don't know, the idea is just so appealing to me. Of course, these are just like 5 contenders for 4 darknesses, so I don't expect all of them to be vessels of darkness. These are just my top 5 contenders. And since we're talking about contenders, I might as well say who I think the remaining new 7 hearts are. Now, the first 2 of these contenders might make a lot of sense. Moana and Tiana. They're like the 2 of the most obvious contenders for the new 7 hearts. I think it makes a ton of sense. Moana is definitely a shoo-in. Tiana is still unsure whether or not the Princess and the Frog will be in KH4, but if it is, there's no doubt about it, Tiana will be one of the new 7 hearts. Now, the next one I think will surprise some of you, and that is Alice. Well, I actually think it makes a lot of sense for Alice to still be one of the new 7 hearts. Not to go too deep into, like, the meta aspect of the new 7 hearts, and, you know, the purpose of these lights, but to me, I read the vessels of the 7 lights as a symbol of a character being stuck in a specific place in their life, and them letting go of their light means that they're ready to move on. Alice as a character, compared to the other of the previous vessels, is still a bit stagnant in her life at this point, if we're going off the plot of the live-action movie. So I think in that regard, it makes sense for Alice to still be one of the new 7 hearts. And it would be a convenient way to make Alice in Wonderland 2010 relevant to KH4 if the film is indeed in KH4. Like, I so desperately hope it is. Like, you guys have no idea. I really want this film to be in KH4 so badly. So, yeah, I would love to see Alice become one of the new 7 hearts. I think it would make a ton of sense. But I also have another contender. And I think is Ven. Now, I can't divulge too much on why I think Ven is one of the remaining new 7 hearts. And yes, I said remaining. I think all of these 4 are the remaining new 7 hearts. I'm not like, this is not just a list of contenders, like with the darknesses. This is a definitive 4 that I think remain in new 7 hearts. And you may be thinking, wait a minute, there's 3 slots, not 4. I'm well aware of that. And Ven, I think is going to replace Kyrie as one of the new 7 hearts.
I understand.
He's not a spiritual hustler.
Now, some of you may be raising your eyebrows at that, but trust me, I have good reason for that. And I'm sad to say that I cannot say any of that right now because I'm holding this information back for a later theory video. I don't want to spill the beans on this too quickly, and also because it won't be the entire point of the video, so yeah, I don't want to derail the main purpose of this video. But yeah, keep this in mind, but Ven is very much a strong contender for me as one of the remaining new 7 hearts, and don't worry, all will be explained in due time. Now, there is one more thing I want to talk about before I end the video, and that is another role that one world in particular could serve within the Lost Master's plans, and that is the Land of the Dead. Now, besides it being a possible contender for the location of one of the 4 darknesses within Ernesto, like I mentioned before, I think this world could serve another purpose. And I think that the Lost Masters might have an interest in this world for another reason. You see, the Land of the Dead connects the world of the living and the world of the dead together through the connection of memory. So it makes me wonder, would this world be of interest to the Lost Masters to see what would happen if that barrier were to be broken, or how strong that relation between the two planes of existence within that world are, how powerful the force of memory can be, and how crucial it is to the connection between these two worlds? And I feel like they could parallel the relationship between unreality and reality, and how the Lost Masters might try to find a way to break that barrier, or might want to test the connection between reality and unreality together, and the power of memory that sort of binds these worlds together. I don't know, I feel like that the connection between the living world and the world of the dead within Coco could be a really interesting microcosm to the wider macrocosm of unreality and reality within KH4. That seems like a very likely idea to me, and I'm sure the Lost Masters would want to investigate that and test the boundaries of that world and just see what would happen if they try to change that world in a drastic way, and see if it would be possible to try and replicate that on a much larger scale. I don't know, that idea is just really fascinating to me. It's a very spitbally idea, I'm aware, but I still wanted to discuss it. And that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this a lot. This is obviously a new style of KH theory video I want to start doing, and I do have more ideas that I hopefully will get out soon. If you have any feedback you'd like to give to this kind of video, please let me know. It would be really helpful. Thank you all so much for watching this. If you have any own thoughts on the Lost Masters' plans in KH4, and what do you think about the 13 Darknesses and the 7 Lights, and what roles do you think the Disney worlds will serve in the larger story of KH4, let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested in hearing what you guys have to say on the subject. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you have any of your own theories? Let me know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this. Please like and share the video if you do. You can support me on Patreon and the Ko-fi. You can follow me on my socials, subscribe so you won't miss any more of my future videos, or check out my past videos if you wanna. Please take care of yourselves, and keep on keeping on.